It finally happened. The new all-time high for PCX. I can't believe it. When I saw the price this morning, when I got the alerts, I was absolutely amazed that it finally hit a new all-time high, and it's awesome to finally see ChainX in the double digits, currently trading at 11.28 on average across all the different exchanges. But today's all-time high has been 1244, and could we see this higher? Absolutely, because it is on an uptrend here, as we can see. So the last time we had the last all-time high that we had was back in August, as you can see here, 26th of August on MXC. I know some people told me in the comments that on Hotbit it actually went to like 30 bucks for a split second, but Hotbit barely has any liquidity, so it's very likely that if you went to 30 bucks, you were just like 20 or 30 PCX worth of coins, right? So that wouldn't have filled anybody really. Like, it would have filled some people, maybe even bots, right? But this is the real volume right here on MXC. So this was the real deal here, as you can see. And look at this candle. I mean, this is absolutely humongous. We had 3 huge candles here, and I am a bit concerned about this, just the fact that these candles are so large and there hasn't been any cool-off period. But then again, if we look at other assets like Aave, for example, which has been talked about quite a lot, that has like a humongous range of green candles, and there's just no pulling it back, right? There was a bit of a pullback, but overall it just kept continuing and continuing and continuing. So if every day we're going to see a new high, then this is going to continue. We could potentially see like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 different green candles before a pullback. And this is how it is in a bull run. This is what we have to understand. And it was a bit hard for me to understand, because when I started, it was like right at the peak of the bull run, and then the bear market had started. That's when I got into crypto. Even though I got into crypto earlier, like around September 2017, I didn't really care about altcoins back then. It was just about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, the top 3. I didn't really look into the rest. So later on in 2018, I understood how these things work, and how in a bear market, I mean, you would definitely sell this. And if you'd see this in a bear market, if you'd see even this growth, you would sell and you would get out, and you would just wait for the huge pullback, which would probably be bigger. But because we're in a bear market, as you can see, this is the wider time frame moving average here, which is the 60-day moving average, and it managed to bounce just above it, and he went back up. Then he managed to maintain momentum. And again, of course, this was fueled by the collaboration video that I had on BitBoy's channel, which got over 250,000 views. So then more people found out about PCX, the coin, and ChainX, the project, which is the bridge that's going to bring Bitcoin to polkadot in a tokenized way, which is then going to be used as collateral. And this is one of the use cases only, to be used as collateral on Akala network, which is the DeFi, the biggest DeFi on Polkadot. And there's going to be other use cases too, because apparently ChainX is also going to play another important role, which is going to act like a second relay chain to Polkadot. So imagine Polkadot is the parent relay chain. ChainX is going to be like a secondary relay chain supporting it, aside from being a parachain. So that's 2 in 1. So that's something really big as well. And we're going to see how they developed, how they progress, right? Now, one other thing that I want to talk about with ChainX here is that they seem to be back. The marketing person behind the Twitter page seems to be back from the Chinese New Year holidays, because they have tweeted here they're basically continuing on their promo with regards to the KSX snapshot. So when will the snapshot be taken? Well, it will actually be at the point when the first Genesis block is going to be created for KSX, which is Sherpa X's project. Sherpa X is the project, KSX is the coin. So when the first Genesis block, right, when the Genesis block, because Genesis block means the very first block, will be created on the blockchain or on the Parachain, that's when all PCX holders are going to be airdropped. Now, they do need to hold tokens or coins, PCX, in their wallet. So be it in dapps.chainx.org, which is the official web wallet from Polkadot, from ChainX, sorry, or if they hold it in Math Wallet, because Math Wallet also supports it. Okay, that's on the mobile phone, but you can also get a desktop version. I have not done a tutorial on Math Wallet yet. It's something that I'm going to be looking at. It's in the backlog, but for now I've got other things to talk about, so I haven't had a chance. But the other place where you can actually take advantage of this, and I don't recommend it, is if you hold it on MXC exchange. Again, if you're from the US, I believe you're going to have some problems being able to register on MXC. I know some people have left me comments in previous videos where they said that they cannot register, or that they're getting a warning, and some people suggested using VPN. So I don't want to suggest anything, right? If you can't access it, then maybe use Gate, because I believe with Gate you can access it from the US. Now if you're from Washington State or New York, that's going to be a problem. You're probably not going to be able to use that either, but Gate.io is the one. Gate.io is the one. It's a shame because there are just so many restrictions for US citizens. It's like telling them what they can do or what they cannot do with their money, right? If they want to invest in an asset and they can't, it's horrible, right? And yeah, I mean, this is it. You can't even do TA on this, right? The only thing I could say here, there is a risk of a head and shoulder formation here. This could be like the right shoulder, and then it's gonna form, or sorry, this is the left shoulder, is gonna form the right shoulder after this pullback here. There is that risk, right? But it could just potentially be a bounce, then up, then a pullback, and then up, further up. So there's also that as well, which would break it out of the trend. But I am a bit concerned about this, like I said, just because it's overextended here. We could potentially see this go back to the $8 range and probably bounce off 8, because there was a bit of resistance here. I remember when this hit, this was at exactly $8, and then it actually struggled. I watched this live when it popped over 8. It struggled to break over 8. There was a lot of buying power, but the bots were selling, and the bots were selling, and the bots were selling. So there was a bit of a struggle here, and I didn't understand why at first, right? But if we look here, it does make sense, right? Because we had this all-time high, but as you can see here, there was a bit of a bounce here around the $8 range, right? Look around here, around these candles here. So just before it tipped at the all-time high, there was a bit of a bounce here. So again, it isn't really like, I would say more like 750 is should have been the resistance, but for some reason it was 8, and I'm not sure exactly why, right? Maybe it's just the bots, right, selling exactly there. So it struggled to break past that, but it finally happened. So yeah, then it broke the previous all-time high, and then it created a new all-time high early this morning. So anyway, yeah, I'm curious to get your thoughts with regards to PCX's price. How far do you think it could go? Could we potentially see $15 before any new exchange listings? We're still waiting for the official announcement from OKX exchange, where PCX has won the voting from the community with regards to listing as part of a carnival it was. So yeah, we're still waiting on the official announcement. There are some speculations that the ChainX team are waiting for some technical updates before they'll announce it. So if that does happen, that's going to be really big. But yeah, nevertheless, I mean, it's great to see the price in double digits, right? Even if it goes to $10 and it stays above 10, I'm sure people will still be happy, because at the end of the day, you're going to get that airdrop. Now, Polkadot, let's talk about Polkadot. Has also hit a new all-time high today, and that's because of this event here that Bill Laboon, I meant to get this guy Bill Laboon on my channel for an interview. He said he's busy right now. He's trying to see if he can schedule something, and if he can, then I'm going to get him on, and I'm going to ask him a lot of questions about Polkadot and Kusama and ChainX and Akala. And I mean, this is the best guy to ask any kind of technical questions for what's to come. He'll be able to answer all those questions. But he was basically given a presentation on how to avoid scams in the Polkadot ecosystem. So that's really good. As you can see here, this happened at 2 o'clock UTC. And yeah, this caused the price to pop, right? Because it brought more people. It brought more, like, I don't know if it's related to just to that event. I'm assuming it is, right? But it could just be the hype with the Parachains as well, because you know that this is going to happen in Q2, right? Unless there are going to be any technical issues, it's going to happen in Q2. But I wonder if this has also helped fuel PCX's growth, right? The fact that DOT has pumped so much, and also Kusama has been doing crazily well. I mean, if we look at Kusama here, let's go on the USDT pair. Yeah, Kusama hasn't grown in the same way, but still pretty big, right? $228. And it was $100 at the end of January, right? So that's over 2x right here, just in less than 1 month. Absolutely amazing for a strong project like Kusama. And we're not talking about your random DeFi pump and dump scam. No, we're talking about a solid ecosystem project like Kusama. Well, not really solid in the sense that it's stable, because it is an experimental network. So that sounds a bit ironic, I know, but just in the sense that it's solid because it has a big community behind it. It's got a lot of projects behind it that are building on it, they are developing on it. So yeah, definitely solid from that point of view. And the fact that all the changes that are gonna go to Polkadot will first go to Kusama. And I've said this multiple times, but I always repeat it just because if you are new to crypto, or if you're new to Polkadot and Kusama and you don't understand, maybe you didn't have the chance to watch my other videos where I talk about them, then maybe you'll kind of understand at a high level just to get a summary. And finally, I really want to talk about this, right? We're going to stop talking about prices for the moment, and we're going to be talking about this article here from Polkadot network, which is on the Polkadot website. It's in relation to the Parachain rollout and how it's going to work, and I'm sure you're going to find this interesting. So please do stick around. Again, I am doing this as a premiere just because I want to be able to chat in the live chat. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer them in the live chat. I'm going to be watching this. So Parachains are the last piece of core functionality to be delivered as outlined in the Polkadot white paper, and will allow Polkadot to realize its scalable multi-chain architecture. After a period of testing, optimizing, and auditing, Parachains will be ready for launch on Polkadot and can be enabled via on-chain governance. Once Parachains are live, the community will determine which additional features and network upgrades should be added over time. So now we've got the Rococo explanation, and this is the one I've been talking about multiple times, in the sense that ChainX are also going to be deploying on Rococo. They're going to be doing deployments in batches or rollouts in batches, right? So in the first batch, we had Akala, we had Plasm, we had, who else did we have? Kilt as well. And yeah, in the fifth batch, we're going to have ChainX. So it's going to be a little bit of a wait, right? The fifth batch is the last batch. Then in the sixth batch is to be confirmed. They don't know who's going to be deploying. So I'm assuming that they're waiting to see who's testing what, who's interested, and so on. So they're probably getting applications, I'm assuming. And once that happens and they integrate with polkadot.js, then we're going to likely see them become potential parachains if they wish to do so, of course. So how will it work? Well, the Parachain functionality will roll out first for testing and bug fixing on Parachain testnets like Rococo. So that's what Rococo is. Once we're confident that the code is ready, we'll open registration for Parachain teams to test their own chains, including interaction with other chains. Once we've developed and tested the final elements of the core functionality for Parachains and cumulus approval voting, distribution, availability, recovery, and disputes, the Polkadot codebase will officially be feature complete. So that's why it's so important to go on Rococo first, to have that time to test, and then once that's ready, then bingo, boom, there we go, right? So what's next? When we're confident that the testnet parachains are running smoothly and the code has been fully audited and benchmarked, a vote to enable parachains and slot auctions on Kusama will be submitted via an on-chain governance. So it's all done through the polkadot.js wallet. Right, in the governance section, you're going to see the proposal, and that proposal has to be voted for, right? So yeah, definitely interesting. Now the Kusama rollout and slot auctions, this is the one that's coming very soon, right? So all eyes on Kusama right now, all eyes on Kusama. Forget about Polkadot for now. If Kusama goes smoothly, then we're going to see Polkadot, right? So that's why we need to keep an eye out on Kusama. And don't think so much about ChainX, think more about SherpaX now, because this is what I'm bullish on, right? This is the one you're going to get the airdrop of, and this is the one that you should see bonded as a parachain and potentially getting into the spotlight, potentially getting the hype from other exchanges, and maybe even the support in the sense of listing for free, right? This could actually happen. I mean, Binance have announced support for dot ecosystem, or dot echo as they call it, dot eco. Huobi 2, OKX 2, so all these big exchanges like MXC, we already know MXC are going to list KSX. So yeah, and it's not just KSX, it's also like Darwinia's Crab network, that's what they call it. That's the one that's going to launch on Kusama. There's going to be Karura, which is from Akala. There's going to be Moon River, which is from Moonbeam. So different names, right? Different names. They're all going to have different names on Kusama. They've separated the names to not create confusion, because newbies in crypto, not only newbies, even people like myself, like if I see something with the same name, I have to, explain the whole story. Like, oh, I'm talking about Moonbeam, but the Kusama version of Moonbeam. So why not just say Moon River, right? It's much easier. So it's just an example. So let's talk about this now. As a live network with real economic incentives, Kusama will serve as an additional proving ground for parachains, allowing the community to observe network effects and conduct further testing and optimizations. Kusama governance will first vote to enable parachain functionality via runtime upgrade. After that, it can vote to begin slot auctions and to add any common good parachains. Parachain slot auctions. Now this is the one we're interested in, right? Because this is like a token sale. Remember, except you're not losing your Kusama. You're locking your Kusama up to 2 years, and then you get it back. You can choose to do so for 6 months, and if you do it for 6 months, that's fine, right? You're going to get less tokens rewarded to you from the Parachain bonds, but the important thing is that you're going to get your Kusama back, right? As well as those tokens too. So yeah, some people don't care about the wait, because if you really believe in Kusama in the long run or polkadot, you don't mind waiting for up to 2 years. And maybe you're going to have that moon bug, right? Maybe it's going to be 20x, 30x. Maybe we're going to be in a bear market and it's still going to be 10x the price it currently is, right? Anything is possible in 2 years in the crypto space. But Parachain slot leases will be allocated via non-permissioned candle auctions. After the first auction on Kusama, there will be a new auction taking place roughly every 2 weeks. So this is the one I was looking for here, because I really didn't know this. I was gonna ask this question to Bill Lavoon if he would have joined my channel for an interview, because I just didn't know how often are they going to do these Parachain auctions, how often are they going to hold them. So every 2 weeks roughly, right? I guess it depends on blocks and stuff, because they go by blocks. It's the blockchain, right? Now, after each auction, the winning Parachain will be deployed to the network at the beginning of its lease period. Auctions will continue from here on a rolling basis as more slots become available and previous leases expire. So yeah, I mean, this is absolutely amazing. This is absolutely amazing. And again, we're going to have the 100 Parachain limit as well. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be exactly 100 Parachains with Kusama, but with Polkadot, we know for sure there's going to be 100 at first. And then they're going to decide in the future if they're going to open it for more based on how the network performs, because they don't want to clog the network, right? They want to make sure the network remains stable. So hence why they're doing so much testing, and hence why Kusama is so important here. And I know that somebody was saying to me before, he was asking me, well, Claudio, tell me this, why isn't Robston network on Ethereum, which is the test network, why don't they have a token? Why don't they have a token that we can get into if it's just a test network, right? And if Kusama do it. So the real reason behind it is that the governance doesn't work in the same way on Ethereum as it does on Polkadot and Kusama. I mean, if you've seen my tutorial on the Polkadot.js wallet, then you'll understand how important governance is through that wallet, and how every proposal that is submitted gets voted for by the community. You, the token holder, have a say. You have a say. And that's the important thing, right? It's all about the democracy. If you hold tokens and you decide to vote yes or no, I am happy with the change, then you can do so. And what's really awesome about the Polkadot.js wallet and the voting is that you can maximize your vote by locking that Kusama for a longer period of time. So hence why when you vote, you don't normally vote with large amounts, because you can, if you want to maximize your vote to have that voting power 100x your actual holding that you used to vote with, then again, you don't want to lock it for too long, because I believe it's like 360 days lockup if you decide to do that. So just be careful with that when you do vote, but it's just something that's awesome, right? And again, if you don't want to lock it for any more than the period of the proposal, I have done that in the past. I have voted for a proposal, but I have voted with 0.1x voting power, which means that if I used 10 KSM, for example, is just an example, then I would actually use only 1 KSM in the sense of the voting power. So my voting power for the yes would be only 1 KSM. If somebody else would vote with a 1x voting power with 2 KSM, then they would be able to win, of course, because mine would be much less. Even though I have 10 KSM, because I use 0.1x voting power because I don't want the lockup, then I have less voting power. So some people will actually use like the maximum voting power with 1 KSM, and they'd vote as if they had 100. So this is just an example, right? And again, that's covered in my tutorial about the web wallet. So yes, I'm very hyped about this. So roughly every 2 weeks, we're going to see an auction. Now, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I don't think that SherpaX from ChainX are going to be the first to make it, to win the auction, because there's just so much hype with Karura and Akala. And I really think that they're going to make it first. Then probably Moonbeam, I would say, will probably be the second, which we'll likely see, or Moonriver on Kusama. It's just, I just don't think that that SherpaX have enough power in the community as Karura. I mean, Karura is absolutely hyped with Akala network together, right? Both of those, because it's DeFi and everybody's hyped about DeFi. But I think we could potentially see SherpaX successfully bond maybe in the third or the fourth batch, or third or fourth auction, I think. This is my personal opinion, right? It might happen on the first, for all we know, and it is going to shock every single person. But this is just my personal opinion based on the current hype and what I've noticed. And finally, before I end this premiere, I just want to talk about the news. So CoinTelegraph have posted about Kusama 2 hours ago at the time of me doing this video. Price jumps 70% ahead of the upcoming Parachain auctions. So again, there is hype now. There is hype with this because we know that they're going to happen. When are they going to happen? So they're basically talking about Kusama here. They're explaining it. And again, this is the first time I'm reading this. I just saw it and I thought, okay, I'm going to cover this while I do the premiere without actually reading it before. Nothing. Okay, this is what I was looking for. So with the exact date of the Parachain auction still unknown, excitement in the communities is likely to continue to build up as the quality projects vie for the limited Parachain slots and attempt to become central pieces in the Kusama and polkadot ecosystem. So yeah, I mean, in this article it's just basically talking about the price pretty much, that it's gone up a lot, but we still don't know when the Parachain auctions are going to launch. We didn't get an official announcement yet. I wonder if they have some bugs or something and they're just waiting to fix those, or they're just doing the last minute checks, maybe some QA, something, I don't know. But they did say Q1, so we got to give them one more month. We cannot argue. We cannot keep pushing them until we go past Q1. Then we can keep pushing them on Twitter and ask them, hey, what's going on, guys? Come on, tell us when are you going to give us those Parachain auctions? But anyway, that's it from today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found this informative. Do check out my other videos, which will show up here at the end of this video, as you can see, which are my tutorials with regards to ChainX and with explaining what polkadot is and also Parachains. So do check those out. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.